Hi darlings, thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. And today I have a setup for the last 10 days of a biblical thanks. And so this is the free scripture writing November plan by ByTheWell4God, and this coordinates with a biblical thanks, which is their November study. So I have been enjoying going through the devotional and then doing my scripture writing daily. This is how it has been turning out so far. And so I have been putting process videos on how I set it up. And then when I set up the following week, I've been showing kind of like a flip through of the week before. So this is how the last week turned out. And so because obviously there's 30 days and I've been doing 7 days at a time, I now have, so I did up to 21. So now I have up to 28, but then obviously there's 30 days in November, so there's a couple more days. So instead of fitting it all in one, I'm actually gonna break up the last, I said 10, but it's 9 days between 2 of the pages. And so I'll be doing both of those. That way it's all set up for the last week. So I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on fast forward. Leave me any questions below, anything that I may not have gone over. I will list the freebie below, the freebie plan, and also I will list below any of the previous videos that you may have missed. Okay, so let me go ahead and put you on fast forward and let's dig in. Okay, darlings, so this is the setup for the last 2 weeks of this scripture writing. And like I've said in every video, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I am thinking and contemplating on possibly doing the December scripture writing plan because Lori actually did another one that's going to coordinate with the December devotional, which is Who is the Messiah? And it's written by Tom next month. So if you guys have not checked out that collection, the main kit has sold out. It sold out in 48 hours, y'all. So good. But there's tons of extras that you can purchase from the shop. I'm going to link it below, and then you can pick up the free scripture writing and do some scripture writing right along with me. So here on camera, you guys saw me, I'm flip-flopping, I'm organizing my postcards or journaling cards, I should say, and my labels, my die cuts that are going to coordinate with the last 9 days. These are the ones that either have verses or just tells me where the focus verse is for that certain day. And so I am just pulling those to kind of do my design around that. So I grabbed the country lace, which is, you guys, it has been one of my fave stencils for this month. And I'm kind of just going around and using, again, the tea dye with my little dauber. And I'm going around and kind of adding some color in all the corners, and then I add some in the middle as well. And so this is just going to give me like a fun background so I can lay down all of my different elements. And so I decide that I'm going to cut down some of the verse cards. Again, I want to use these elements kind of to make the page pretty, but also to help show the verses. I don't want it to be the main focus. So I cut a lot of the bigger items down. This one right here is a postage stamp, and usually I would go and fussy cut all those little corners, right? But this project, this scripture writing, is more about the heart than it is about the art, and I don't want to spend all that time fussy cutting things out. So I just kind of cut it down so it's as slim as possible, and then I add some of the clear stickers. One of the things that you'll see me use a lot are the clear stickers that I have left over. I had a bunch left over, and I was like, I need to use this up in my last 2 spreads because A, they're beautiful, and B, I want to be able, they're easy to like just throw on your page, and I want to be able to use them and not just put them back in my stash, right? So I am going to be using tons of those. So you see me pulling little leaves, apples, a pumpkin, and I'm just layering all these things together to make sure that I'm using up my supplies and not hoarding. One of the things that I loved about going through this month in the scripture writing was I'm using a lot of product. I'm trying different things. I'm using the stencils with inks and stickers and die cuts and the labels and the big alphas and small alphas. It's been really fun to dig into the full collection versus just using a couple of pieces on 1 or 2 pages. So you saw me, I didn't have one for Daniel, which is one of the days, Daniel chapter 4, verse 35. So I used the label and added some of the big tile alphas. And now I'm just using those little, clear stickers around some leaves, a pumpkin, a haystack. And I love how that first spread came out. So now I'm going to be working on the second spread. And I just have to tell you guys, this one was a bit of the struggle bus, and you guys will see what I mean. So I loved that these longer washi strips, they fit perfectly across a page. And I was like, oh, yay, I'm just going to use all of them. And you would think that all of them would go together because, they're all cohesive. They're all part of the collection. But there's one thing I know, that when it comes to design, too many colors can sometimes be too much. And that's definitely what happened here. And you guys are going to see how I fix my errors, because I like to leave this in sometimes so you guys can see I'm not perfect, and sometimes I have to start all over too. So I use a journaling card on the bottom right, which is that Revelation verse. I'm using some of the short faux washi to use them as like little washi tabs at the top of these journaling cards. And then I was like, oh yeah, let me throw in this sweater, and let me throw in, I have like this beautiful garland of flowers at the top, and I'm just adding and adding and adding. And the only thing that really saved me this time around was the fact that I was using my tape runner versus my glue, because if I would have been using my Tombow glue, yeah, there is no way I was going to be able to pull these things up. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So I added another strip of the long washi there at top, and I was like, oh, I have one more. I'll put it at the bottom. And as you guys can see, there's a lot of color already going on here, and I add even more. Okay, so then I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this label up at the top because it matches with the green. And I'm like, oh, let me see what verse that is. And then I grab another set of clear stickers. So I have this sweater just floating in the middle here. And then I grab another sweater and put it at the top. And this whole time, I'm just thinking in my head, I have to use up all these stickers. And I have to use all of these stickers up. And using up my stickers was a good idea, but I still didn't come with a game plan for this second spread. And you guys can see that I'm kind of like all over the place. I don't know if I'm going to put this bathtub, but the bathtub next to the swing doesn't really make sense. And now I have like floating sweaters everywhere, and it's a lot, you guys. So I decided, I don't care. I'm just going to pull up this washi, and I am going to redo this, and I am going to stick to blues, greens, and browns. So I start looking in my stash, what other clear stickers match a color scheme that would actually be cohesive. So I found this washi, and it's not the same size as the other one, but it matches. So there's flannel going all the way across the bottom, so that's cohesive. Then I start pulling up all of these sweaters. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. And I'm using this stack of books that has the browns and the greens and the blues. I'm pulling up whatever doesn't, match. I'm going to move this to the bottom here so it's not just floating in midair. And I start to organize this in a way that is appealing to the eye, because yes, it's not about the art part, but you still want to come to something that is beautiful. And if something is not cohesive and it's kind of just scattered everywhere, I know that when I come to sit down, it'll scatter my brain. It won't allow me to concentrate on what I'm doing. And then I kind of frame it in all together using that trick with this stencil again of just using the edge. And I really love that this came together this way. Okay, darlings, this is how it turned out. I really love how week 1 turned out with that country lace in the background. And so week 2 was kind of like on the struggle bus until I knew that I had put too much color all in one. And then once I brought it down, I was like, no, I'm just going to use navies, greens, and browns. And then it looked much better. As you guys can see, keep pushing through because at the end, you'll be able to get a beautiful turnout. So I'm going to go ahead and work through this through the next 9 days. Usually it's just 7. And I know that I filmed this, and then by the time I edit and do the voiceover, it gets posted a couple of days after. But do know that I'm on track with my strict scripture writing, and I will have a flip through of all 30 days at the end of the 30 days. So thank you so much for joining me. If you are new here, I hope you consider subscribing, hit the like button, notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Let me know how you guys are finishing up, and how are you guys getting ready for Thanksgiving next week. Thank you so much for joining us each and every video. Darlings, God bless. Bye.